All right, we are back with another PrizePicks video. This one's going to be on the NBA slate of games tonight. We got a whole bunch of games after just a two-game slate yesterday. So we'll jump into the board, go over some entries, and ultimately get you guys 6 picks for tonight. If you're new to the channel, though, we've been ripping out content like this daily for the past month now, and we're already over 1,400 subscribers. So definitely doing something right over here. If you want to join this community, definitely go ahead and subscribe. Leave a video like so more people can see this content. And always comment down below if you love one of these picks, if you hate one of these picks. Try to change my mind, I always say. So that's going to do it for the intro. Let's quickly go over our picks from last time. We had Nurkic, really a disappointment for everyone that bet on him, but obviously Phoenix fans. With no Booker and Beal, he can't score 4 points. Just couldn't get anything going, had foul trouble the entire game. That's probably one of the main reasons he struggled. Couldn't be aggressive with rebounding at that like down the stretch of that game. He actually did come out he came out really hot. I did a separate slip where I bet on his rebounds at 2.5 over his rebounds in the first quarter. Thought that was absolutely easy money. I saw that later in the day. But then Eric Gordon, I know he only had 15 points, but this one wasn't a sweat at all. He had 15 points with like 8 minutes left in the third quarter or something. He hit a 3. I remember watching it. So got us there pretty early, but absolutely shut down after that. Pretty much anyone not named Kevin Durant went ice cold for Phoenix as they ultimately lost the game. Christian Wood was a big factor down the stretch, played a lot more meaningful minutes, I want to say. I don't know if he actually played a lot more minutes. He was definitely up over the 20-minute mark and just played really well. A plus-minus guy where he was one of the guys in the positive in Game 1 and continued that into Game 2 for the Lakers. So Christian Wood got there for us. And then Maxey, maybe one of the easier plays of the day with no Harden. Started off slow, but really started heating up and crushed that line. So let's jump into the board here and get you guys some picks. I do want to preface this with saying that there was a couple guys that I wanted to attack today, and they're just not on the board. So Cam Thomas is one of these guys. Absolute flamethrower off the bench. I don't know why he doesn't start on that team. Maybe they like him as a spark off the bench. But Cam Thomas, nothing there for us. Jalen Johnson, maybe the John Collins replacement for Atlanta. Nothing on him just yet. Emmanuel Quickley, a guy that played really well against the Celtics team, a good defensive team in the Celtics. Ended up getting 24 points off the bench. Nothing for Quickley. Al Horford, I saw a line that had him at 5.5. I took that last game, and he got there for us. But nothing for Al Horford. If that 5.5 point line does pop up, I'd recommend going for it. And then Jalen Duren was another guy I wanted to attack. His fantasy score literally just dropped 1 second before I started this video. I was about to say, they don't have fantasy score. But Duren and Stewart are both kind of guys that haven't been getting their value up just yet. This will continue to rise. Duren and Stewart are getting plenty of minutes on Detroit. They're kind of they have a log jam down there in Detroit's front court. With like Duren, they have Bagley, they got James Wiseman, they have Beef Stew, Isaiah Stewart. But Stewart and Duren are guys that are going to get a lot of the minutes. I wouldn't mind this combo as well. We got two young centers going up against each other in Duren and Mark Williams. So just wanted to preface that if any of those other guys come up, don't be afraid to play some of their fantasy scores or whatnot. But let's jump into the picks we actually have here. The first guy I'm going to go with is actually an under, and it's a player I really, really like. Alperen Sengun, I'm going to go under his 15.5 points here. I don't know why this isn't maybe an intuition pick. And again, it's a guy that I really like. I've had him in fantasy a few times. I know he can be a stud, does a little bit of everything. Kind of like a Jokic-like, can pass the ball as well. But he can score the ball, but he's going up against a difficult Spurs team. And I say that with saying Wembanyama is going to be probably the guy starting and guarding him. And against the Spurs in the 2 preseason games, I looked it up. He played about 20 minutes in both these games. He was really limited. Obviously, Wembanyama is absolutely huge. That might have something to do with it. And game last time, I wanted to take his under on the 14.5. I ended up not doing it, but he ended up only getting 14 points in a kind of a bigger Orlando team as well. But this Spurs defense, I mean, it could be solid against centers. I know we don't have a lot to go off of. This is preseason, but they got a lot of scorers now in Houston with Fred VanVleet coming in. Jalen Green wants to get he wants to be an all-star this year. even Jabari Smith Jr., all those guys didn't have amazing games in game one. So Sengun at 15.5, I like the under there. So Sengun's going to be our first pick as an under. And then for our next two picks, we're actually going to go to first quarter NBA. Something I had success yesterday, and something that I don't typically do, but I might explore it a little bit more this year. I'm going to go to Kyle Lowry, and I'm going to go for his first quarter points, and I'm going under here. Kyle Lowry is not someone that usually comes out of the gates hot. Definitely on that Miami team. In game one, I just brought up the box score here. In game one against the Pistons, Lowry shot a grand total of 1 time in the entire game. If we bring up his first quarter stats, also the last 20 games, he's gone under this 2.5 line in 80% of them. The matchup's good going up against Boston, a great defense, and the odds are also favoring this. So this Lowry one, I'm really, really liking today. 2.5, obviously, you could hit 1-3, and that screws us, but everything pointing towards this line hitting, which is really nice to see. And then another one, we're actually staying in the same game. I'm going to go to Jaylen Brown. And you might call me crazy on this one, had a bad first game. But he's also someone that, on the flip side of things, he comes out of games hot. So in the first quarter, Jalen's usually the guy, like, if I'm betting on first basket made, if I'm looking at the Celtics team, Brown's one of those guys I look at a lot. And I know Porzingis scored 15 points in the first quarter or something in his debut. Tatum had like 10 points in that first quarter in his debut. But if we go ahead and take a look at Jaylen Brown, I'm pretty sure the stats will say he comes out of games pretty hot here. Let's go to first quarter points. So 40% of the last 10, he's gone over this 5.5 line. Last 20, he's gone over in 11 of 20 games. And then in terms of head-to-head, a lot of that in the postseason last year. Against the Heat, he's done it in 12 of the last 20 matchups. So I know it's a new-look Celtics team, but I think unity is big on that team, and Jaylen had a bad game. He's an all-NBA type player. I think they're going to be trying to feeding him and get him going early in today's game. So Jaylen over 5.5, Lowry over 2.5, our little first quarter plays. And let's jump into our next one here. Just got to pull it up. I lost it. We're going to Terry Rozier. I'm going to go to Terry Rozier, and we're going to go to we're back. We got to go back here. Terry Rozier. Oh, looks like they added another discount here. They've been doing that. Hopefully that continues. Tatum at 34.5. I mean, looks pretty solid. I'd have to look farther into it. But let's go to Terry Rozier, and we're going to his assist line at 4.5. So 4.5 assists. If we look at the past few games, he's getting this line in preseason, which we love to see because that's limited minutes. So seven assists against Washington, 6 assists against OKC. He had 6 assists in the opener as well. And this was a game where LaMelo Ball had 10 assists and Gordon Hayward had 7 assists. So still able to do it even with everyone else distributing the ball as well. I really like the value in this Charlotte-Detroit matchup. I think Mark Williams will have another good game. But I'm going to go with Terry Rozier, 4.5 assists. I will pull up his page right here so we can kind of see what he's done in the past. Let's go to Terry Rozier. We're going to his assist line. We can see last 10 games, he's done it in 7 of the last 10. Again, this was last season, but we have some history showing that he can get, upwards of 9 assists even sometimes. So last 20, he's done it in 65% of the last 20, so that's looking good as well. And then if we do look at the head-to-head matchup, doesn't look like it's super-duper favorable. But again, back and forth here, had 9 assists against Detroit in March, and then 3 back in February. So I like, the possibility of these guys passing the ball around. They're kind of a fun offense to watch. Their commentators are always hyping everyone up. And then with LaMelo, if he can actually start hitting shots, maybe Rozier gets a few assists that way, and LaMelo starts heating up. But I like Rozier's assist line. And then next 2 we got, that's 4. Yeah, let's get the next 2 here. We're going to talk in Lou Dort. This is a guy that I have been looking at his under in all of the preseason games, and he kept hurting me because I kept looking at his unders. And I'm going to go to his over. I'm going to learn from my mistake here. I'm going to his over 16.5 rebounds or points and rebounds. It doesn't have an assist line here. You can look at this points, rebounds, and assist line. But he's a guy that can lead that team in rebounds and also get really hot in a game. So another team with a lot of like weapons. You got Shea handling the ball. You got, J-Dub is a flamethrower sometimes. Chet's obviously new. Giddy's going to have the ball in his hands a lot. So a lot of opportunity for Dort to get set up there. And he doesn't usually, have a whole lot of assists, but he's a small kind of Marcus Smart like build, and he can go out there and get rebounds. Again, like I said, does he have a rebounds line? Yeah, he had 7 rebounds to lead all players in their first game against Chicago. And where does he go? I hate this. Needs to fix. Dort. Going up against a Cleveland team, we talked about their, or maybe we didn't talk about it, but they have a solid interior line there with Jared Allen and Evan Mobley, but there's no Jared Allen today, so maybe that allows him to grab a few more boards, get the points going, and that's why I'm liking this points and rebounds combo. But if you specifically like, his points line or his rebounds line, look at those for sure. And then his points, rebounds, assist line is only 1 more than that. So if you think he's going to pick up a few assists, definitely go with that one. And then last but not least, we're going to go to a rookie. We're going to Ausar Thompson, a guy that he's not the biggest body in the world. He's kind of you see him, he's got a guard forward build here. I think he's 6'7", I want to say. But rookie guy that has really showed out his first season, or in his first game. Also in preseason, he was playing really well. I think he almost had a triple-double in one of those games. But 6.0 rebounds, and just look at the past 5 games. That's preseason with some limited minutes. I think he was actually playing a lot of minutes in preseason as a rookie. But he's crushed this line in all 5 of the past games. I think that's all 5 of the games he's played so far in the NBA. And then a good matchup going up against Charlotte. Obviously, they got Mark Williams over there, but Ausar Thompson's one of their better rebounders. They got a lot of bigs down there, but he's proved to be really, really good in that part of his game. So if you want to look at other bets for him, you could look at his points, rebounds, assist line. That's something I was definitely interested in. I could see him not scoring the ball sometimes, though, and that kind of carries these stats. So I think the most value is on the rebounds line at 6.0. It was 5.5 earlier. As I'm making these videos, a lot of these lines move. They move quickly, so try to get them in quick. But yeah, that's going to be our last pick for the day, Ausar Thompson. So let's do a little recap here. We got Sengun. Unfortunately, got to go under on my guy at 15.5. Tough matchup against Wemby down there. Hopefully Wembanyama stays out of foul trouble. He can guard him up pretty well. But the 2 preseason game against the Spurs, he really was limited. And with Jalen Green, Fred VanVleet, Jabari Smith Jr., none of those guys really had a great scoring game. I think the highest scorer was Sengun with 14. I think a lot of guys had 14, but I think a lot of those guys could get it going, and just a tough matchup for him. Kyle Lowry, he's proven that he's not a very good first quarter scorer. Only shot 1 time in their first game. So I'm liking Kyle Lowry to stay under this 2.5 line. Yes, that's 1 3-pointer, but it's a scary one. But the odds, everything, the matchup, and the history is looking really good. Well for that one. On the flip side of things, Jaylen Brown usually starts the games off hot, specifically against this Miami team last year. I know they got Porzingis. I'm loving Porzingis' value for that team right now. He's shooting threes wide open almost. It's hard to guard that pick and roll with him and Tatum. But Brown, they got to incorporate him into this offense. Had a bad game in game 1, and I think he comes out hot, and I think they maybe make it a mission to get him out, started out early in that one. So 5.5 points over for first quarter, Jaylen Brown. Terry Rozier, 4.5 assists. Liking that one as well. We talked about it. Team that plays quick. The ball moves around a lot, so Terry's done that in the past. Lou Dort, we got at 16.5 over points rebounds, just because it's a team that doesn't have a number 1 rebounder, let's say. Chet is probably their biggest guy on the floor for sure. But Lou Dort, he definitely goes in there and grabs rebounds, was the number 1 leader in the rebounding category for them in game 1, but also can put up points in a hurry. So I'm liking this combo here with Lou Dort. And then Ausar Thompson, the rookie, has done it in the past 5 games. He's going to get the minutes. They want to run him in that young Detroit squad. So I'm liking Ausar Thompson at 6.0 as well. So that's going to do it. Let's put in that for 20 for 500. I think I already actually submitted that, so now I'm doubling down on it for you guys. But yeah, I got a lot of work to do with college football going on tomorrow. We got NFL Sunday. I'll try to get an MLB video for you baseball fans. I know that's kind of winding down now. But yeah, let's make some money tonight, and that'll do it. Peace out.